Welcome to Learning Unit number 8. In this learning unit, we're going to talk about mental health disorders and the impact of pandemics on mental health. So you're watching this video right now, and our objectives and assignments are written here. I'm not going to read everything, but we are really going to be talking about mental disorders and specifically depression, schizophrenia, anxiety disorders, and bipolar affective disorder, along with touching on substance abuse disorders. Now, I know you'll be getting this information in other nursing courses, but I wanted us to look at it with a lens or through a lens of public health and global health. So we're going to be able to comprehend the global burden of mental disorders and really looking at the terms that we're using, whether we're talking about mental health, mental illness, and so you're going to be reading more of the global burden of mental disorders and how it impacts, how mental illness impacts on those living in high income countries and low and middle income countries. You're going to get most of that information by reading through your textbook. And specifically, I'm looking for pages 419 to 20 and then 436 through 440. So not that much as far as textbook readings. But then there are some articles and information from web links that you're going to be looking through. And your assignments will be quiz number 8 based on the readings in your text and the discussion board, post and reply. So let's start out here a little bit. And this you can see, let's see if we can make it a little bit more viewable. When I asked AI, just Googling very quickly about terms, I asked, is there a difference between mental illness, mental disorders, and mental health conditions? And these terms are used pretty much interchangeably. The big thing that I wanted you to pick up on is when you're talking about mental health. Mental health is really psychological well-being. So mental and health, so the health of your mental status, it's saying that you're able to cope with stress, have positive relationships, you're feeling fulfilled. It's that kind of thing. So when we're talking mental health, we are definitely talking in a very positive manner of well-being. So when we're talking about illness or disorders or conditions, we're talking about mental health conditions that can affect a person's mood, thinking, and behavior. It is truly a medical diagnosis. It's a condition that impairs functioning to some degree. So that's what I want you to know. So I oftentimes see students that are talking about mental health, but yet they're talking about depression, anxiety, bipolar, schizophrenia. Those are not mental. That's not talking about mental health in a positive. That is a condition, a disorder, or an illness of mental health. So just make sure that you're looking at the terms and using them accurately. So that's just the first thing that I've picked up on in reading other students' posts, etc., on mental illness, is that oftentimes students just say mental health, but yet then they talk about mental illness. So moving along from that, you have your quiz, and that quiz is based on your readings for Unit 8 found in the textbook, and the link above on mental health conditions, what I just reviewed with you. Next is the World Health Organization and some information about depression worldwide. So this is what you're reading, some of the key facts. You can see that it's been updated in August of 2025. It is depression. It's a common mental disorder. It's talking about globally, what do we know? You can even get some fact sheets on some of the other mental health disorders from here, symptoms, all that you would need to know about depression, but in a global text. So once we've done that and you've done your readings, I want you to know that for most of the statistics and most of the information I'm sharing right now is that we're going to be looking at specifically our country. So while it's a global health course, we are focusing on U.S. data for much of this course and for all the information I'm going to go over right now. And we know that mental health disorders and what they say is co-occurring disorders, such as substance use disorders, affect everyone. This is a global, significant issue, almost a crisis. But we're now looking at the impact of COVID-19 on mental health disorders and substance use disorders. So we're going to focus now again on U.S. data. So anxiety disorders, this is some good information from NAMI, and you can look from the overview of anxiety to treatment, support, and learning more here in this left-hand column. So take a moment to really review about mental illness and focus on the anxiety disorders in this web link. So this is a great source. This is an article that came out not long ago, Mental Health Post-Viral Illnesses and Pandemics. So when you look at this article, it is a research article, and it is not specific to U.S. This is one that I found recently that really I felt it had great information, but now we're expanding back out globally here. And I ask that you read the highlighted sections. So the objective of this research was to explore the ramifications of the COVID-19 pandemic on mental health and substance use. And here is the conclusion. I'm asking that you read the background information, so that's highlighted yellow, and then the psychosocial impact of COVID-19 on mental health and substance use. So read through that. This is a 2024 article. So I just ask that, you read through this information and realize that we are out 5 years now from the pandemic, and yet we're seeing certain ramifications of this pandemic. So moving on from there, you're going to read that. And co-occurring disorders, what they mean by that is mental illness goes along with oftentimes substance use disorders. Not every time, but substance use disorders occur at a very high rate with individuals with mental illness. And it's usually a way of self-medicating. So it's usually a way an individual copes with their overwhelming symptoms of their mental illness. So read through, you want to make sure you understand what the term co-occurring disorders is. And then read through, again, this really excellent information from NAMI. This is one of the best sources that you will find. So I encourage you to really read through this information. And then this is just a one paragraph item on opioids, and it has some data from the CDC. So it's very short, so just want to look at that. And then the discussion board is pretty kind of allowing you to share what you have found, and let's look through it. What are the key findings from all of your materials, from your articles, the web links, the book? What are the key findings in this learning unit regarding mental health disorders and substance use disorders and the continuing impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the U.S. population's mental health and globally on the global mental health? So I'm looking at you to really digest these materials and then share with us what you think are the key findings. Is there something that really surprised you? Is there something that really concerns you? Is it something that makes sense to you and that, you had not truly thought about before? Those kind of things. And don't forget, you do need to reply to a classmate's posting for Learning Unit 8 discussion board. So be creative as far as make it something that you want to share with others. What information just really astounded you? Or what do you think was the most important information out of all the information that was shared with you? It's a lot of information here this week. So what do you think is the key information that you learned? And then I just ask that you listen to the song Sam Stone by John Prine. John Prine died a few years back, but this is about a Vietnam veteran that comes home who is a heroin user. And I just thought it was a pretty amazing song, and sometimes we can learn a lot from music. So take a listen. And that's it for Learning Unit number 8. And again, best understand co-occurring disorders, look at mental illness and some of the main mental health disorders. While there might be a focus on the U.S. population, we do, with the textbook and some of our sources, look at mental illness globally and how it impacts all of the residents, or many of the residents of our planet. Have a great week, and as always, let me know if there's anything I can help you with or clarify. Thank you.